Okay, everybody, welcome to the latest episode of All Too Real 2.
Ooh.
My name is Michael E. Cullen II, and with me via Zoom is
Matthew. I really don't want to talk about this pilot episode, Haas.
Well, before we talk about that, Matt, in recent nerd news, did you see the casting for the Super Mario Brothers animated movie?
Yes, and it kind of pissed me off because I've been working on a Mario movie for 7 years, and by that I mean I've not been working on it. But so I had my own idea of it. I'm not going to say who because I don't want someone else stealing the idea. But I had a whole set of actors who they had to be in it. Otherwise, the project's not, take it or leave it.
Yeah.
Because I have that much clout in Hollywood where I could just say, give me this list of actors, or I'm gonna walk.
Yes.
So.
Well.
But then again, mine wasn't anime. Mine was gonna be a live action. So technically,
okay.
I could still make mine. Yeah.
Well, yeah. If you hadn't heard, folks, Chris Pratt is playing Mario. The whole, it's me, a Mario guy. Yeah. No.
I just don't see it. I mean, I like Chris Pratt, but I don't
My thing
know.
with it is I understand they want name actors in it, but it's an animated movie.
Yeah.
Who cares who's doing the voices? My thing is hire actual good voice actors as opposed to celebrities.
I know. That's the thing, though, is people do care about that now, though, because they want a famous name to the character or whatever.
It's like, why not use the guy that does Mario's voice? I can't remember his name right now, but he's in the movie. He's been announced to be in the cast, but he's not playing Mario.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
The guy that's been doing the voice for decades. But hey, let's, the guy that goes, it's me, Mario, my brother Luigi. That guy.
Yeah, instead we got Star-Lord,
Or why not hire me?
Yeah. But why not,
Mm-hmm. And then for Luigi, they got Charlie Day, which I'm okay with that one. But
oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah.
That could work.
Yeah.
Then of course, you got to have, Glenn Howerton, playing.
Why don't they just hire the whole cast of its son? It's always Sunny.
That would actually be perfect. He could be Princess Peach or Daisy, depending on what story they're going
Danny
with.
DeVito could be Mario,
or he could be
Bowser.
Yeah, he could be Bowser. He would be a good Bowser.
Mm-hmm.
She'd be a great Bowser.
You've also got I think it's Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong in this movie.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No.
That's who I wanted to cast as fucking Donkey Kong in my Mario movie.
Oh, wow.
I'm not kidding you.
That's crazy.
Jesus Christ, damn it. Well, I guess now he can't be in that one, or doesn't want to be. That is so fucked up. Because I was even saying, too, how he would come out in costume, a really bad costume, and just, have a banana in hand, talk about weed for 2 seconds, then just go off screen. That is so okay, I'm actually really mad now that I took so long, and I see it's that ripple effect. I probably told it to someone, or someone overheard it, and then they may have told it to one person, and then eventually it gets out to someone in Hollywood just because of the chain of reaction, and then boom, it gets on someone's desk, and they're smoking their cigar and flipping through it. They're like, you know what? We should do a Mario movie. Sure, why not? Oh, Seth Rogen playing Donkey Kong. That's hilarious. We should do that. God damn it. Oh, well.
Okay, so the cast that they have is Chris Pratt as Mario.
Right.
Charlie Day as Luigi. Anya Taylor-Joy as Princess Peach. She was the star of Queen's Gambit, among other things. Um, Jack Black as Bowser. Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. Keegan-Michael Key as Toad. Fred Armisen as Cranky Kong. You've got Kevin Michael Richardson as Kamek. He's actually a voice actor, so I'm just
Yeah.
So he's also an actor, but he's a voice actor, so it was good that they hired him. And Sebastian Maniscalco as Spike. And then you got Charles Martinet. That's the original voice of Mario, or the most famous voice of Mario. He's in the movie, but they don't say who he's playing. So,
okay,
yeah,
maybe he's like got a cameo or something.
Yeah,
small role or whatever. God, I'm actually legitimately pissed a little bit about, because more at myself for the fact that, then again, how was I ever going to get a script out to anyone of like note, out there anyway? But still, the fact that I literally had said this again, I came up with this idea in 2013. Okay. So, and it was around like November of 2013. So we're looking at like literally like 8 years,
Yeah. Well,
but mine was live action though, or my idea was live action.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. I think it's interesting. I mean, maybe one day you can still make your live action one.
I don't think so.
Well, after we become huge and famous.
Oh yeah, sure.
Anyways, we're currently avoiding the inevitable here of what we're going to talk about in this episode. So
yeah.
Okay, we just nerded out and talked about how pissed off we're about things, which leads us into a pilot for Comedy Central in 2000, directed by Troy Miller, starring Patton Oswalt, Brian Posehn, and Sarah Silverman. Entitled Super Nerds. Yep. On paper, you have a pilot with Patton Oswalt, Brian Posehn, and Sarah Silverman. 3 of the funniest people on the planet. It should be good, right, Matt?
It should be. Yes.
Yeah. But it wasn't.
No. I was thinking, like, are they trying to be bad? Like, is that like part of the joke? Like, is it like such a German art film where like it's supposed to be bad and that's the point? I don't think that was, though, but I'm just trying to get to the benefit of the doubt, because I think they've worked together before too, haven't they? So it's not like...
Yeah, I mean, like, shortly after this, I think Posehn became part of the Sarah Silverman show on Comedy Central.
Right.
They were and Posehn and Patton Oswalt toured together and stuff like that. They've been friends forever, I think. So, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's hard to say where things went wrong here.
It's one of those things, I think, where...
Thing is, the guy who directed this, Troy Miller, directed 31 episodes of Arrested Development.
Well, at least... Okay, well...
He directed... I don't know, 3 episodes of The Office.
Oh.
7 episodes of Parks and Rec. An episode of New Girl. Episode of Happy Endings. 4 episodes of Flight of the Conchords. So he's got a good track record. And this is all after this though. So
Right.
before that, he directed 2 episodes of Tenacious D, their TV show. um, he directed a bunch of comedy specials for people like David Cross, and directed a bunch of episodes of Mr. Show with Bob and David.
Good.
Yeah. Directed 7 episodes of the Ben Stiller Show.
I love that show. That's
too.
Like one of my.
He's got a good good record here. So yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say went wrong here. I do not know who wrote this because IMDb does not list it.
Oh wow. That's not a good sign.
At least maybe. Let me see. Maybe they do. Let me see here. I was on the wrong page. Let's check really quick in a second here. No, they do not list who wrote it.
Wow.
They've got like the art department, the costume designer, set decoration, cinematographer, music, and the producers, but they do not have who wrote it. So I do not know who wrote this.
Wow.
Because I was going to blame the writing. I don't know who to blame.
I don't know
I don't know where to place the blame, Matt.
Where do I blame? I blame you. No.
I'm just going to blame Earth.
Whoa.
Global warming.
Yeah.
That's it. So, what happens in this episode here, Matt? Of this pilot episode? Yeah, of this whatever it is.
So stereotypical, like working at a store, like a novelty store, in this case, it's like a comic book store. Kind of similar to, what was it called? The Originals, True Originals with,
with
Krasinski and
John Krasinski and Natasha Lyonne. Yeah,
like kind of similar kind of feel to that, which is also kind of around the same time. Well, give or take a few years, but Patton Oswalt's character Leslie, he works at the comic book store. His friend Gail, played by Brian Posehn, I'm not sure if he works there or if he just hangs out there. I'm not sure.
He just hangs out there, they say.
Okay. And they're just like really playing up the whole nerd shit, but like just so over the. I mean, like it kind of reminded me of The Big Bang Theory, which is not a compliment in my book. Like we're just gonna mention a bunch of comic book characters, or we're gonna get into this weird thing where like a bunch of stupid fat jokes, like people doing cosplay at like conventions, and they're like, Bubba Fett and what was it, like R2 Chuggo, or I forgot what it was.
R2 Fat
like,
Soap.
Yeah.
Princess Leia are fatter.
Which okay, I don't even know what that's supposed to mean.
Her last name's Organa, and it's Orfatter.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And
Darth Fatter or something like that. Yeah. Or like, what was the first one? Something to do with Chubs.
It was Jedi Master Obi Chub Kenobi.
Oh my god! Oh, that alone wanted me to turn it off. Like I was like, I'm already done with this episode. Like they thought that was funny. Like,
yeah.
Again, like I always thought shows go through like a process where you film the show and then you go into the editing and then you go into like maybe a sort of like controlled what is it, like where you bring people on to like see if they like it. I forgot the name.
Well, I mean, I don't know if this, I think it might have aired once, but it was probably because it was already passed, so but they had recorded and they thought, hey, we can air this once or something,
Oh my god. And so yeah, they go with this whole list, and then the inevitable thing happens. An attractive woman entered the store, and that's got to become a whole thing.
Yeah.
and Leslie can't talk in front of women. Where have I seen that one before? Interesting. And
Yeah, it's
Gail,
pretty much like maybe Chuck Lorre watched this and then stole the ideas.
yeah, it's almost like that's something that definitely happened. And
Just
I'm
joking.
pretty
I don't
sure
know.
it did. I think it did. I'm almost certain that there is a little bit of that, because at the end, when they're anyway, I'm getting too ahead of myself. But
Yeah.
Gail proceeds to sexually assault the woman by pretending to accidentally run into her from behind, which is really, really, really creepy. And she leaves the store after he's trying to talk to her because he thinks he's flirting with her. But since he's a nerd, get it? He's a male nerd, and he likes comic books, so women don't like him. Get it? Get it? It's funny.
It's so funny that shows like this and other shows at that era, but now this was before the Marvel universe hit in theaters, and now like, you know, your grandma loves, you know, Iron Man or whatever, you know what I mean? It's like
Well, that's the thing, is that women and girls have always loved comic books. It's just a lot of the guy took it over, because like there's like a hierarchy in society. So you got like the really tough masculine sports guys. They pick on like the nerds, so like the male nerds. So then like they created like their own little world. Like, all right, well, this is our safe space now. So, but then like we don't want any girls coming in here because this is our, you know, like this whole tribal type of thing. You know, like everyone gets into these weird things where it's like, this is our subculture and it's just for us. Nobody else is allowed in. Or if they are, we're basically like taking like applications. Like, you know, we have to decide whether or not you could come in. And, you know, I mean, I'm not trying to be political like usual, but it's just what I'm saying is factually true from a time-space continuum, you know, reality-based worldview, is that like, you know, we see these millions of videos on YouTube where people start shitting their pants. It's because a woman's in like a new superhero movie. What I'm saying is obviously true, you know, because otherwise these videos wouldn't exist, you know, of people like screaming and crying about like, you're taking away my beloved character because this one has a vagina. Like, it's okay. Like, maybe give it a chance, you know, see if you like it, but, you know, apparently not. So, yeah, they were playing really heavy onto that thing of like, we're the lone rangers here or whatever. We, you know, it's just us two guys who can't talk to women. Anyway, what else happens? I'm bored.
Well, okay, so eventually, they're talking on the phone. They're trying to buy something. It ends up being some stupid bookends of Picard and Captain Kirk. That's from Star Trek, if you don't know, folks. But, just letting you non-nerds know about that stuff, okay? So, anyways, they're supposedly worth like hundreds of dollars. Even though I'm pretty sure that those things were common at the time. Yeah, so they this guy comes in and sells those to them, but their boss, who is randomly a foreign guy, not sure what country he's from. I think it's supposed to be like, you know, somewhere in the like Eastern Europe or something, you know. So he ends up buying one of the bookends. It's sad, I don't even remember which one. I think he bought the Picard.
Yeah, I don't know.
And yeah, Brian Posehn's character of Gal ends up accidentally breaking it. And so he's like, you know, dealing with that. This is a subplot here that I'm just going through, and then I'm going to get back to the main plot. He He's offered $50. He's offered to pay for it for $50 and never come back into the store again. By the boss, which he takes. Either that or he has to pay like $400 the guy would have made off of the thing. Anyways, there's this whole main plot with Sarah Silverman's character, who is a knowledgeable comics fan. She has a crush on Leslie. She went to school with him, and he was one of the only people to accept her into this like nerd group. Or whatever it was. What was it, like a Dungeons and Dragons or something? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, maybe.
You know, typical look at nerds that people in Hollywood seem to think that all nerds are. Anyways, Leslie likes her, blah, blah, blah. She likes Leslie. There's all this miscommunication throughout it and awkwardness, and he can't talk to girls, like you said. And, you know, she's Sarah Silverman, so she's hot. And, you know, like she is in real life. She's also a very smart and intelligent woman who I really appreciate and love. So anyway, so it's yeah, I don't know. It's just awkward. I don't know. Do you want to take a break, Matt, really quick?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it was awkward.
Yeah, I'm feeling awkward right now just talking about this show. So
yeah,
we'll be right back, folks.
What is Gen X? What is the silent generation? What do generations have in common? Hi, I'm Trish the Dish from the Gen X Voice podcast, and I invite you to listen to conversations I have with folks from different generations, backgrounds, beliefs, and experiences in an attempt to see what connects rather than divides us. Even though Gen X has been called slackers, Karens, or not mentioned at all in some cases, we are the bridge generation, so I feel compelled to do my part to destroy ageism by bringing all these voices together. And, as a bonus, each guest gets to answer some 80s questions at the end of each show. So download and listen to Gen X Voice today on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And let's see how much we have in common after all.
Hi, this is Catherine, host of a new fashion podcast, The Real Fashion School Dropout. Join me as I interview guests every week in the fashion and beauty space, and we gossip on all things fashion and beauty and even get into some personal stories of their journey in the industry. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, pretty much wherever you get your podcast. Hope to see you there.
And we are back, you know, to talk about nerdy stuff. Super nerdy stuff.
Ooh.
Big Bang Theory. Oh, wait.
Big Bang. Can I just do to prevent the inevitable again? Can I just say something really quick?
Sure.
Okay, so, because you talked about Sarah Silverman, right? Okay,
Yeah.
So it was I think it was 2006. Maybe 2000, I don't remember the exact year. It was a while ago. Where I had a dream that basically we were dating Sarah Silverman, but it wasn't we were just literally just cuddling in bed. We weren't doing anything. We were just cuddling. And I woke up and it was one of those things where I just felt super, super happy upon waking up, which, hardly ever happens to me. But so it was really interesting, sensation of wow, and and the thing is too, is I'm not even a huge fan. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not a fan of her. I'm just she was never on my radar, you know what I mean? Or whatever.
Yeah.
of a person, like a comedian to watch or whatever. I mean, because I saw her like in School of Rock, and she was kind of like a jerk in that movie, but she played it well though. So
Yeah.
maybe that's my nerd thing right there, is having a dream of like an actor, or whatever.
You're in love with Sarah Silverman.
Apparently, in a dream, I was.
Yes. But everything we dream about is true, right?
I've heard that. I think that's a myth. So I've definitely dreamed of people that I definitely do not love. And so,
me too.
Like I've dreamed of Trump before. I do not love him. So,
were you having a sexual relationship with him in this dream?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay.
Unfortunately, no.
You did not have a dream about you cuddling in bed with Trump, right?
Thankfully, not that.
Just making sure.
He was feeding me like quarter pounders, hamburgers, but
that's romantic.
Yeah, it is what it is. Diet Coke, It reminds me too. There was this Facebook guy on my Facebook page, friend or whatever you call it. I don't know. I don't really talk to him, but he's on there, and it was like a few months after Trump was inaugurated, and he said, "I just had a horrible dream that I was one of Trump's bodyguards, and I hated myself for even being there. But he's like, but fortunately, I was terrible at my job." It's like, whoa. I know.
That's still a better dream than being in love with, like at least you didn't have a dream where he was like the Monica Lewinsky in this situation, as opposed to, like a Monica Lewinsky to Trump's Clinton. You know what I mean?
God.
It would just be.
Yeah. No.
Oh God. So back to super nerds.
Yes.
So they're talking about there's like this comic book convention coming up, and Sarah Silverman's character invites Patton Oswalt's character to go. It was just, I don't know. It's just
awkward.
Yeah. Also, there's some homophobia in this episode.
It's a lot. There's also some transphobia as well.
Yeah. So there's a part where so Mr. Vaskin, that's the Eastern European boss of the collectible store that they work at or whatever. He has an unseen brother called You're Gay. Which allows Brian Posehn's character to tediously joke, "No, you're gay."
My God. They thought that was funny.
Yeah. I mean, it is a play on words. Sometimes I like that kind of humor, but not when it's being semi-homophobic. But, yeah.
I think I've actually heard that line in another show. Or
I'm sure.
At some point, yeah.
I'm sure that's been
maybe
done.
Chuck Lorre wrote that down.
No. See, there's something about this. Okay, this show, it reminds me of a mix of a really badly like that Clerks pilot we watched.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that, but worse.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like it was kind of influenced by Clerks, and it reminds me in a weird way of Comic Book Men before that came out, which was better, but it was a reality show.
yeah, exactly. Because one of the guys in that show just kind of hangs out at the store. He doesn't actually work there.
Yeah, Brian Johnson just hangs out there. He was kind of like the Brian Posehn sort of character.
Yeah, I mean, but cooler.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's kind of interesting. I mean, I was watching it, and the whole time I'm just thinking of Comic Book Men for some reason. Yeah. So, yeah, and I don't know. Any other thoughts here, Matt? Because it kind of ends with nothing really resolved either. Like, because they were setting up for a series, because you didn't have you had an awkward situation where Brian Posehn's character of Gale tells Sarah Silverman's character that he likes her as well, and she's talking about how she's in, kind of in love with Leslie.
It was so awkward. Okay, so like, she says that she's living back in town again. Okay, so her name is Gwen. So I don't know how many years have passed since junior high. Probably at least 15, maybe not, maybe even more. And she still remembers this guy who was nice to her one day at school, like 15, 20 years ago. I mean, I know that certain events leave an impression on your mind. I get that. But at the same time, really? Like,
I still remember the girls that I was in love with in like grade school and stuff. But, it's just,
okay.
But I don't think that if I ran into them now, I'd tell them about that.
Well, exactly. That's the thing too. Is like she's like acting all weird and coy, which is again is kind of something I'm not used to with Sarah Silverman. Is she never plays the part where she's like all like mousy and like I don't know me, type
she's
of thing.
Normally more self-assertive and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So that itself was kind of awkward just seeing her act that way because I never have. And plus two, the fact that it was just bad show. Leslie's not even there for that part of the conversation because he went off to do something, and then Gale ruins. Well, he almost ruined it before too. No, he did. He ruined it twice because before that, Gwen was basically going to ask Leslie to like dress up for like the convention, and like typical Sheldon like character. Gale's freaking out because she said, well, I could be like Scarlet Witch and you could be the Green Lantern. Oh, the cardinal sin. You can't mix Marvel and DC. Like, dude, if you're trying to actively not have a girlfriend, keep talking like that. Really, it's super fucking annoying when people do that shit. Like, even back then it was annoying. It's like, you think people like to be corrected over stupid shit like that? Like, no one cares. Like, anyone who just likes to read comic books but doesn't treat it like a goddamn religion with like a shrine and an altar, like they don't care if like, oh, this character was in Marvel Spider-Man issue 47 and come on, like.
And you don't have to like be a couple costume to go to something, so
I don't know. Yeah, so he ruined that.
It's like you don't have to be Vision and the Scarlet Witch to go to the fucking thing together. You can be whoever you want to be.
Yeah, well, that was the cardinal sin, which is interesting though, because she said Scarlet Witch, and now that's like one of the main characters now in the MCU. And but back then,
back in 2000, the MCU was bullshit. It was like all it had really was like a couple. I mean, there was no MCU, but like the Marvel comics in general were like. This is before Disney bought them and before that they became kind of like the huge juggernaut that they are now. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what Spider-Man Part 1 didn't come out until like 2 years later, right? No, was it a year later? I don't remember.
I don't know, but still, even that, I mean, all you had really before that was like maybe Blade. And, but that was all before the MCU proper. Right, yeah. This was just when they were licensing out things because they were going bankrupt and they had to like license out these characters to other studios.
Right. Blade was really fucking good though. I like those movies, or at least the first one.
Yeah, I can't wait until the new Blade comes out, but yeah, we'll see because they're rebooting it for the MCU. So with Mahershala Ali,
so it's going to be part of the actual canon then, or part,
but they got a new guy playing. Mahershala Ali is playing Blade.
Oh, that's the dude. He was in what was it? I can't think of the shit. Was it Luke Cage? Was he in?
I think he played a small part in Luke Cage. Yeah,
just for the first few episodes. He was also in. He's an interesting. He's
a good actor.
He is. He's also a Muslim actor, but he's from he belongs to not belongs. He's part of a belongs implies that like like he's beholden to this, sect or whatever, but like he's a member of the Ahmadiyya denomination of Islam, which is really interesting. I've got a few books I'm actually kind of staring at them right now. I got a few books of theirs. Really interesting sect of Islam. It started in India like the 1890s, and some of their claims are like, or some of their I guess idea formulations are kind of similar to like how like Baha'is formulate some of their ideas like about like prophethood. Anyway, I just thought about because I remember when he won the award, and at first like when he won the award, like a lot of these like Muslim websites and publications were like making a big deal because that's what happens like when you're a minority, whenever someone's from your, but they found out that he's part of this group, so then they changed, a lot of them changed it because they don't believe it's real Muslims because they believe that their founder is a prophet who came after Muhammad. But even when you read their literature, it actually listened to them describe what they mean by that. It doesn't actually, but whatever. You know how people are. They read a headline like, no, I don't want to know what they mean by it. Okay, that's why we live. We live in.
People only read headlines anyways, so then they comment on them, and it's like the experiment that I did back when Trump won the election, and I had a thing that said Bernie Sanders can still win the election, and it was a headline, and then
I remember
everybody kept commenting on it, and nobody read the fucking article that said no, we can't.
I clicked on it and it said like no, we can't, or something like that. That's all it said. Yep.
And I have people saying, "Keep dreaming, Mike. It's not going to happen." And I'm like,
it's like, yeah, exactly. That's what it says. Like,
read the fucking article, people.
I did want to keep dreaming because
but still,
yeah.
But anyways, so basically, the show kind of ends unresolved. It's like there's nothing going on because it was kind of a setup for a series. You could tell there would probably be the will they, won't they sort of thing with Gwen and Leslie. Ah, boy.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a whole, he was kind of it was kind of like, except for she's nerdy, she was kind of the Penny type character from like Big Bang Theory, and so it was just like,
that's what I'm saying. I think that Chuck Lorre, it was the most lackluster will they, won't they in like TV history.
Yeah,
really. But the reason why I do think Chuck Lorre took some notes from this because at the end they had this whole thing where they're like singing the song and they're like listing like hundreds of comic book characters, and like it's like something. Like, literally, there's an episode of Big Bang, I don't know where the clip is, but I've seen it somewhere, where they're literally just listing off comic book characters, and, like, that's the joke. Like, that it's not, like, there's nothing that leads to it. Just saying the word Green Lantern and people laugh. I'm like, how is that funny? He's a character from okay. Like, you get it? They like comic books, and they're adults. Get it? Yeah, I do get it. I fail to see how that's funny.
like people said when Big Bang Theory and Community were up against each other on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said this, I don't know who, but said something like Big Bang Theory is a TV show about smart people for stupid people. And Community was a TV show about stupid people for smart people.
Oh, wow.
Which completely makes sense.
Those are some fighting words. But the thing is, though, there's a lot of stupid Community fans.
No. What I'm saying is it's the whole, like, Community, the people on there weren't really that smart. So,
mm-hmm.
but the show was written smartly. So that's where it's different.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly. Because unfortunately, that Community fan page on Facebook has devolved into some really stupid shit. I'm like, you guys... Do you even know the show that you're talking about? Like, are we watching the same thing? Like, I mean, I know that like it's possible to come to different interpretations, but like, when you know for a fact that the interpretation is a certain way, there's no way you could reinterpret that to mean something else. Like,
it's the sad thing. As time goes on, any kind of fandom is going to have a toxic fandom. involved in it. It just happens. It doesn't matter if you're a fan of Community or the Detroit Tigers, whatever it is, you're going to have some kind of toxic fandom, whatever it is, so it's like sad.
Yeah.
Anyways, anything else, any other thoughts on this show, Matt? Would you recommend anybody watch it that hasn't seen it yet, listen to this?
I mean, like, if you want to, like, do your own podcast and review it, I guess, but, which a few people have already done before us. Apparently, I've looked. There was like a 2019 episode from someone, and
somebody else has talked about this. Okay, cool.
2017, yeah. So I think the only people who watched it are people doing a podcast about it. But
yeah, I mean, yeah.
I
mean, if you wanted, I can send you the link to it. But yeah, just message me at mike@cullenpark.com. Yeah, I totally disliked this show. And yet, I love Sarah Silverman, Brian Posehn, and Patton Oswalt. Mm-hmm. Luckily, Patton went on to do great things. So did Sarah and Brian, and other areas of entertainment. So
yeah.
And this did not soil their careers.
Nope. This was interesting too, because this was like probably at the height of King of Queens popularity, and he was playing Spence, at that point as well. So maybe he was like looking for a way out of that. Because I know, I'm pretty sure he's grateful that he was on there, but I don't think that was his favorite role. As King of Queens.
I don't know. It might have been. Who knows?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but I mean, he, if you want to see really good Patton Oswalt, watch AP Bio.
Oh God,
yeah,
Derbs, yeah,
amazing character. Yeah, and and the millions of other things that he's done since 2000. So yeah, also folks, just, if you want to check out anything else cool, go to all2real2.com. You can check out all of our links to where you can hear us. Obviously you found us, so you know how to hear us, but, there's some, links to other things on there. You can check out our TeePublic. We got a link in the show notes for that. Also, we have a link to our Patreon. Join that. Help us out.
Tron, yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Maybe we'll dress up like the characters from Tron if you do that.
Yeah.
And ride some. What are those bikes that they rode? I don't know. I haven't seen Tron in years.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do some CGI and make ourselves look younger, like like they did in Tron Legacy.
Yeah, that's right.
With Jeff Bridges. And I
love that movie. No,
do you?
I do. Yeah. I do like.
I do like it too. I actually like both of the Tron movies a lot. So also, if you want to be on the show, here's something cool too. Send me a message at mike@cullenpark.com, because if you have like a movie that you really want to talk about, it doesn't matter if it's an underrated movie, a really loved movie, or anything like that. We would love to have you on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And talk to us, and tell us how much you love the movie. Or if there's a movie you really hate and you want to talk about too. I mean, I guess we could do that too.
True. Yeah.
Anybody, got something to promote, let us know. We'll have you on. Also, people out there, get vaccinated. I know this is a controversial thing to say, but get vaccinated.
Yeah.
And get vaccinated.
Yeah.
And while you're at it, get vaccinated.
Well, don't do it too many times because you might hurt yourself. But,
oh, yeah, that's true. When the booster's available, get that too, so.
Yeah.
Older people can get the booster right now, so,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wear a mask if you have to, folks. And wear a condom if you have to.
Mm-hmm.
And until next time, folks, be kind, rewind, and bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to All Too Real 2 podcast, a Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Hawes. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.